Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to another Q8 pilot stream. Today we have a bit of an early start. Hopefully things will go as planned for our stream today. I am back streaming in 2K resolution for you guys, 60 FPS, so I hope that things will go as planned. I want to welcome all of you guys to this live stream today, and I want to begin by thanking Brent Norman for his support becoming a captain here on the channel. Appreciate it very much. Hello, Doug. Welcome aboard. Meg Greger, welcome aboard. Flybright, Stefanos, welcome. Stan, hello, Stan. V-Skycheck, welcome aboard. Roy Van Can, welcome. Thank you guys for the support. Rand Cooley, my very dear friend, welcome. Stan, welcome. Glad to have you guys here. Pandy, welcome aboard. Robert, welcome. HD Sim and Gold, welcome guys. Very glad to have you with me this evening for our flight today from JFK to Durham International. This JetBlue livery is something I can't get over. It's really, really a beautiful, beautiful livery. So today we are going to be flying the Toliss A320neo based on popular demand, and we are currently situated at John F. Kennedy Airport in the United States. The weather is less than perfect today here for our departure, but hopefully we can depart without incident. And a very quick briefing here for our flight today. We are going to be departing John F. Kennedy, runway 22 right. We're going to be heading over to Durham International. We're going to be cruising at 38,000 feet. Our arrival is going to be runway 23 left through the Tackle 2 arrival. Our approximate flight time today is 1 hour and 15 minutes or so, and hopefully you guys will be able to enjoy this live. We're going to be talking about the future of X-Plane and some of the things that are upcoming, as well as all things flight simulation. Allah, welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us. Tiger, the pilot, welcome aboard. X-Craft E195 Payware. It is an excellent aircraft. If you are considering buying it, go ahead and get it. Outdoor sound is a bit too high. Is it? Okay, let me fix that for you. Actually, let's go to the inside, and this should help reduce the sounds. We'll worry about the sounds a little later. Maybe we'll come here. Exterior sounds. Yeah, we can put those down for sure. Okay. Alrighty. So, this is the latest version of the Toliss A320, and I meant to actually have, let's have lossless scaling today. At least for our departure, we're going to need it because the frames do suffer in this airport. Although they are doing well, but, you know, we'll just bring up about 44 frames natively. That's not bad. They tend to go up and down, so we'll just use lossless scaling for our departure today. All right, so this is, ladies and gents, the latest version of the Toliss A320neo, and this is, in my view, one of the best simulations of an A320 in a flight sim. Of course, there are a lot of things that I can say that can be worked on this specific model, but in terms of system simulation, this is a very very robust and very high fidelity, in-depth simulation of the A320 neo. The texturing is something that throws me off a little bit with the Toliss aircraft, but their attention to detail when it comes to the simulation of the systems is second to none. So let us go ahead and start prepping things up. We are going to make sure that let me remove the armrest here on both sides, and we're going to make sure that the engine mode selector is in the normal position. Both engine switches are in the off position. The thrust levers are idle detent. The landing gear is down, and then we're going to move up here. We're going to make sure that the wipers are off on both sides, which they are. Moving up here, we have more than 25 volts of battery, so we're going to go ahead and turn on battery 1 and battery 2. And external power. All right, there we go. Now, I am using the KOSP sand pack today, and this sand pack is an absolute marvel. It really takes this Toliss aircraft to the next level. So I highly recommend it. If you have the Toliss and you want better sounds, I highly recommend the KOSP sand pack. All right. Oxygen cruise supply is on. Ground control is on. ADDONS nav 1, nav 2, and 3 are all set. We're going to come here and arm the emergency lights. Set non-smoking to auto. Seatbelt signs to auto. We're going to come here and turn on the fuel pumps. Moving up here. Test engine 1 fire. APU fire test. And engine 2 fire test. Excellent. Coming down here to the pedestal, and we're going to make sure all the switches here are on the normal position, and then we can click here on status. Status is normal. Perfect. We're going to brighten up our MCDUs on both sides. Perfect. Hello, Jeff. Welcome aboard. All right, and then we're going to make sure that the radios are on. Everything here looks good. Everything on the first officer side looks good. And everything here, the parking brake is set and everything is looking perfect. Okay, we're going to bring up some lights to our PFD, to our ND, and we're going to do the same thing on the first officer side, just kind of for better visibility. And we're also going to increase the lighting on our upper and lower ECAMs, again for better visibility. All right, perfect. Now we have everything ready here, and we can start programming the MCDU. All right, let me bring it up and bring it here to the screen, and maybe we can, no, maybe from this side. No, we can't. Okay, well, that's fine. Okay. So we're going to follow the Airbus SOP for the MCDU programming, which follows the initial diff strip, or the short diff strip, which stands for data. So this is the data page, and then init alpha. So we're going to go to init alpha, and we're going to request the init here, flight plan data link in progress. Hey, Alex, welcome aboard. I was very envious of the photos you posted of FS Weekend. It seems like it was a really nice event. All right, so we're just waiting for the data here. All right, we've got the data, and just a second here, and it will load the rest of the information for the flight. There we go. We are JetBlue Flight 1185. This is a real-world flight for JetBlue. Cost index 538,000 feet is our cruise altitude. So this is the D and I, so that's the delta and the init alpha. Next is the flight plan. So diff strip. Next is F, so flight plan. So we're going to go to the flight plan, and we're going to select our departure airport, departure runway, beg your pardon. There is no SID today for the flight, so we're departing runway 22 right, flying direct to the next waypoint, so which is Wavy. So let's go ahead and select 22 right. We're going to select the departure, and it's the 22 right. There we go. There is no SID, so we're going to say insert, and there is a discontinuity. I'll switch this to plan here, so we can, come on. Oh, I know why. Okay, so there we go, plan. And if you notice, let me just zoom in here. One more. There we go. Okay, so you can see here that there is a discontinuity from our departure to Wavy. We can go ahead and delete that discontinuity, so we're going to go ahead and clear that. Let me clear that. All right, and then we're going to insert, and now we have the direct line from the runway to Wavy, so we can fly direct to Wavy. All right, okay, next we're going to go to our arrival, and we're going to select the arrival runway. We can get rid of that now, and we can come here to the arrival, 23 left through the tackle 2. Okay, so 23 left, this is the ILS, 23 left, and it's the tackle 2, so that's the one there. And for the transition, let's see if we have a transition. Okay, so I'm going to click here. We're going to go to 23 left, which is this one here. This is the ILS 23 left. Why is this not coming? There we go. All right. All right, so if we look here, we have the ESIL transition. You can see this here. So, and we have, so this is ESIL, and then this is, so actually we can select either one of them. S will transition. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go and select that one. And then we're going to say insert. And now if we cycle through, let me bring this, oh, come on. Let me bring this up. And we can cycle through this here. And just make sure that there are no discontinuities and that everything there is looks like one discontinuity from CJ. So let's go ahead and clear that. Clear. And insert. There we go. And that gives us a nice arrival into Durham International. As you can see it here, that's the tackle, that's ESL, and then we'll come down here and land. All right, perfect. So that's diff, and then the second is secondary flight plan. Next. So I hope that you guys are enjoying the 2K streaming today. Absolutely. Also, Wing Wing announced nice hardware. I haven't followed everything. Sorry to bother you, but do you use visual mods for this, like XEnviro? I do not use XEnviro or Visual XP. I'm using default clouds, but I'm using the Nightlight mod by Drashal, as well as the blah.lua with Active Sky XP. All right, so next is the secondary flight plan. Again, we're just going to copy the active, and then from this, then it's the radio. So now for the radio, if we come here and take a look at our departure, so if I go to flights and go to our runway, departing runway, which is 22 right. So let's go here to 22 right. That's 22 right. And that's back where we are. All right, so that's 22 right. And if I look here, we can probably, for situational awareness, actually we don't need, we can put the Kennedy VOR 115. Actually, they've got some frequency there. Let's put 115.9 there. All right, that's the JFK VOR. And so just for situational awareness, we'll know the heading that we're flying towards. Okay. So diffs R, and then so now it's init Bravo. Init Bravo is automatically calculated for us, and everything is set. And next is the perf. Now, before we go to perf, I'm going to go here to the overhead panel, and we are going to start the APU. Master switch is on, and we're going to wait for the flap, APU flap to open. The flaps are open now, so we can go ahead and start the APU. Excellent. All right. We can now go ahead to the performance calculation. Let's switch this back to ARC, and we'll worry about this in a minute. That needs to be in millibars, inches of mercury, I beg your pardon. So let's change this to inches of mercury. Okay, so uplink to data. We're going to request the takeoff data here. All right, takeoff data is received. So we're going to go back. We're going to select flex takeoff, and we are going to insert the uplink. And now we have 146, 146 for V1 and V rotate, and 148 for V2. Transition altitude 5,000. That cannot be. Transition altitude in the States is 18,000. So let's change that. And then we have flaps 1 up 0.4, flex temperatures S74, so everything is good and ready to go here. And we're going to bring this one here, put this on perf, and there we go. Excellent. I'm considering switching from MSS 2224. What do you think, and why do you prefer X-Plane 12? For a lot of different reasons. First of all, switching to MSS 2024 can bring a lot of disappointments to you, including instability of the sim, but it is far better than the previous version before sim update 1. The sim is fairly stable now. It's better than what it used to be. I'm still having some issues with loading airports and things like that, but overall it's much better than before the update. Why do I prefer X-Plane 12? It's far more stable, far more realistic. It is just a better sim in my view. For IFR flying, which I do the most in X-Plane, it's just better in my view. Is Microsoft Flight Sim better in other aspects? Yes, for VFR flying, I highly recommend Microsoft Flight Sim. You don't use PMCO, do you? I think you mean I think you mean PMDT, right? PMCO. What is PMCO? Or is it PMDG is what you're referring to? I'm sorry, I don't know what PMCO is. How is the atmosphere after iftar during Ramadan? It's actually very pleasant this year. Yeah, it's pretty nice and cool. All right, so everything is set here. Let's set this back here, and we need to set our altimeter. So we're going to come here and select the weather here at John F. Kennedy, which is pretty bad weather today. And altimeter is 3016. 3016. There we go. 3016. Brilliant. And that is now set. And we can start this clock here now. And we're going to go ahead and request pushback now from our position. Okay, so let's take a quick look here at the outside. We can see that all the doors are closed and we are ready to go. So we're going to come to the mechanic and we're going to remove the chocks. We can't remove external power yet because the APU bleeds aren't on. So now we can remove external power. Those sounds are just really, really nice. All right. Now we can remove the external power, which I think we need to bring the chocks back. All right, why is it doing this? All right, let's come to the control panel. Let's go to ground services. External power, it doesn't want to turn off. What do I do? External power does not want to power off. All right, so what do we do here? What do we do with the external power not wanting to disconnect? If you push back, it will automatically... All right, perfect. Thank you. We'll try that. All right, let's go ahead and push back. Better push back. Start pushback.
Down to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
All right, so we want to position the aircraft on... let's see. Where do we want to position the aircraft? We want to eventually go here, so how do I push? We obviously can't push this side, can we? Well, I think that's what we'll do. We'll just position the aircraft like that. There. That works.
Cockpit. Tow is driving up.
All right, and we are ready, ladies and gents. Are using Lang. What is that? Crazy plane stuff. Welcome. Thank you, Luca, for the tip. Cubic Demon, welcome aboard. Does Toliss make an A320neo? I don't think so. I don't know if they have a plans to do it, but I think this one has both options, doesn't it? All right.
Some doors are still opened, or the GPU or the ASU are still connected. I'm waiting for all of them closed and disconnected, then I will proceed.
All right. Let's see. Still doesn't want to do that. Or some doors are open. I don't see any doors open. The pushback doesn't want to push back because of the chocks, because of the ground power unit. So what do we do, folks? Do you know?
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
All right, looks like it's doing its thing now. Perfect. Now, we are If we go to, let me remove this here real quick, and we're going to zoom in. Runway 22 right is here. So once we push back, we are going to go here and take taxiway Bravo, and Bravo to Delta Bravo. No, we're going to take Delta Bravo all the way to Echo, and from Echo to 22 right. Okay. Perfect. Beacon lights
So connected
on.
and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Now the external power is gone. Okay, perfect. So it had to do with the beacon lights. All right. Parking brake off.
Starting pushback. And you may start engines.
Stefanos, welcome to Captain. Thank you very much, sir, for your support. Appreciate it very, very much. Thank you. I am using lossless scaling, yes. All right, we have the engine mode selector selected on and to ignition. And we're going to start with engine number 2. There we go. Engine number 2 starting. You have got to love the JetBlue livery. Check out those engine sounds. Again, the KOSP project, the KOSP sound pack is just amazing.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
All right. So engine, all right, well, we'll wait for the engine to stabilize. Again, Stefanos, thank you very much, my friend, for your support, becoming a captain here on the channel. Gamer2BHD, tried the Toliss menu at the top to turn off the GPU. Yeah, we tried that, didn't work. It would turn, actually was tied to the beacon light. All right, we have a good start. Let's go ahead and disconnect. And let's go ahead and remove that. And engine number 1 coming up. Those wings are just amazing. Look at that.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have fun up there.
All right, thank you for your service. Very, very nice rendition of JFK by Nimbus Simulations. Again, one of the best JFK renditions I've seen is this one here. Only second to the one created by AnyBuilds. Right, we have the second engine now coming to life. What an amazing looking aircraft. Notice the beacon, how the beacon light flashes. It just really looks so nice. All right. We have a good start on both engines. We are going to come down here and we are going to set the engine start switch to normal. Up here on the overhead panel, APU bleed off, APU master off, taxi to nose light to taxi, and then we're going to come down here and we're going to set flaps 1 for departure. All right, arm the speed brakes, auto brake to max, and the trim is 0.4 up. So we're going to set that as well. Right, 0.4 up is now set, and we're going to turn on the weather system. All right, everything is set here. We'll put the terrain on the first officer's side. We'll keep the weather on our side. And everything here is set. All right, perfect. Let's reset our view. And parking brake is released. And off we go. Let's see here. All right, everything's good here. Let's go ahead and give it a little bit of power. Check out the sounds, guys. Very, very nice sounds. And we can see the lineup of JetBlue aircraft here at John F. Kennedy. I believe that's our runway right over there. All right. Now, let's see what we want to do. Let's take a quick look here. Yeah, we definitely want to make a turn. Next taxiway here. I'm probably not following the right ground markings, but that's all right. And then we want to cross the runway, or do we want to go straight? Let's see. We can go to the next turn. Yeah, we can go to the next turn here. Cross the runway. And that will take us to runway 22. Sorry, 22 right is what we want. Maybe not. Alright, well, we'll cross the runway anyway. Yeah, that's okay. A very large airport, JFK, and I tell you, all right, let's go ahead and click here. Cabin crew seats for takeoff, please. All right, and that's Echo, so we could make a turn here. And config, we've checked the brakes. Config is normal. And that's 22 right for us. We'll go to the... We'll give us more runway that way. And, all right, cabin is ready. Let's set the TCAS to TARA. Excellent. Constraints on. All right, and here's 22 right, and we are cleared for takeoff. Landing lights on, runway turnoff lights on, strobe lights, nose light to taxi, and we are clear to takeoff. Runway 22 right. Right, let's go and start the clock. beautiful rendition of JFK, including the runways. Look at those markings on the runway there. All right, let's line up. I wish the weather was a little bit better so that we can enjoy the beautiful scenery here at JFK. Perhaps another time. And you guys definitely prefer miserable weather for takeoffs and landings. That is something I have come to realize over the years. Again, guys, if you are enjoying yourselves, please hit that thumbs up button to like the stream. It does really help the channel quite a bit, and I would be very grateful if you could do that. All right, we're coming up here to the runway, and all right, let's put that here. Clear left, clear light, and ooh, looks like we are having some issues now with the streaming. So let me just bring the aircraft to a quick stop here. All right. Yeah, MCP is not set. You are right. Let's set the MCP to 38,000. All right, there we go. 38,000 is set. And let me see here if I can do something about... looks like there is some buffering going on. So let me see here if I refresh this a little bit. Here, let me see if it has subsided or not. No, it has not subsided. So stream is great for me. Is it? Okay, well, yeah, it's back saying excellent connection now. I was just getting a message there. Sometimes my upload... it kind of, it kind of just falls below 24. It doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes it does. And when it does, I get a message here. Only minor buffering for me, Alex said. All right, perfect. Alex, say hello to Magnus please tell him I said hello as well if you do see him. Magnus is a great guy, the CEO of Navigraph. All right, folks, we are good to go. 50%. Check out those sounds, guys. Parking brake released. Manflex 74 SRS and runway. Yeah, I've got to love those sounds. Yeah, we started on the lights there. Those sounds are beautiful. V1, rotate. Positive rate of climb, gears going up. Right, let's begin the turn. Right, looking good. Thrust climb is set. Flaps up. Speed brakes disarmed. Autopilot 1 engaged.
2,000.
All right, and everything is looking good. Climbing through 3,000. Magnus is a really nice guy. I've had the chance to speak to him directly at FS Expo 2023. And the entire team at Navigraph are just an amazing bunch. I have a lot of respect for Navigraph, both as a company and as individuals. They are just really a great bunch. All right, we are at 6,000. We continue to climb. If the sounds are too loud for you guys, please let me know. I can bring them down a little bit. Would you prefer Toliss? I prefer any, the 320 CEO and Neo. There isn't really much of a difference. So I enjoy Toliss aircraft altogether. I think they make very good aircraft. So, hello Joshua, welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here with us. So as we climb, I don't know if you guys have had the chance to see what's coming in the next version of X-Plane, which is 12.2. 12.2 is going to bring 2 improvements to the sim, amongst other things that I feel are extremely important to the continuation of the development of X-Plane. One is they are going to bring cloud improvements. Let me turn off the lights. So I've seen a screenshot of the I've seen some screenshots of how the clouds are going to look in X-Plane 12, and let me tell you, I'm quite excited about how things are going to look like in the new version, X-Plane 12.2, once it releases. The other thing that has been a long-standing issue and a troublesome issue for a lot of us was the dark cockpits, the problem with the shadows. That is also something that is going to be addressed in the next version of X-Plane. I just joined. Hey, is it Jesus? How are you doing, my friend? Welcome aboard. Gorlock, welcome aboard. Nice to have you again. Is it worth to buy this plane? Is it? It's definitely worth it. The A320neo by Toliss is an advanced simulation and an authentic representation of the real-world aircraft. In fact, almost all the aircraft systems are simulated, and this aircraft performs, if you are, pretty detailed about performance data, performs about 3 to 5% of the real-world counterpart in terms of the actual performance data, like the engines. So it's got failures, it's got everything that you want in an add-on. So you can simulate failures. There's a ton of things that you can do with the Toliss. You can really push your skills to the limit. And it's done in style. And the texturing on this one, the A321 and A319, is actually not bad. The A340 and A330 still lacking. I've seen some improvement in the A330. I know a lot of you guys on the community poll said that they want me to fly the A330, which I will be doing after we take a look next Tuesday at the Inabuilds A350, after all the improvements to both the aircraft and the sim. And I'll give you my honest thoughts. I'll give you some of the thoughts that I was able to kind of read through or watch on YouTube from real-world pilots that are not affiliated with with any specific entity, and so they gave their honest opinion about the aircraft. So we'll share that maybe once we reach cruise. But I am quite excited about what X-Plane is going to bring in the next version. And how do you know the hot start TBM already to X-Plane 12? Did you know the hot start will ever come to... that I don't know, sorry. Yeah. Enhanced KOSP, very looking forward to see. Yes, likewise. They need to update the default ground textures and scenery mapping. All that the same since Explain 11. Yeah. Hey Q8, do you still use the Boeing TCA yoke? Yes, I do. I just got it today and saw your video on it, which informed my decision. Great! Excuse me. I hope that you enjoy it. The Boeing TCA yoke is just wow. Yes, it is. It's very, very good. Oh, I'm glad that the previous stream was helpful for you. That's very good to know. So, how are you guys? What do you guys think about this, 2K streaming today? I know that I can't always do it. Sometimes it's just it doesn't work because of my ISP. But it seems like so far today it's okay. And here is a nice wing view for you guys as we depart JFK. Hostar are working on it, but they are doing a complete custom PT6 model, so it will take some time. Oh, that's news to me. Thank you for that. XATC Chatter and Passenger FX. Passenger FX I haven't used. XATC Chatter is an excellent program for increased immersion if you want to have non-interactive ATC. I use it in a lot of my flights. As a matter of fact, we can bring XATC Chatter here, which I do have. It's right there. Toggle the control panel. It says it's out of range. We are in the United States. Nearest facility. Let's see here. What do we have here? We have New York departure, so let's select that. And we can now go back here. So now we're listening on COM 1 to this specific frequency. We'll be able to hear them in a little bit. Alright. Here's another nice wing view for you guys. Is the FF767 a good plane for X-Plane 12? Is it up to date, compatible to other airlines like the Toliss and other planes? Well, yes, it is. It is compatible. And now you can hear the ATC chatter in the background. It is compatible with X-Plane 12. There has been some recent compatibility updates as well. If you would ask me which aircraft that if you really want to make an investment, I highly recommend that you get the 777 version 2 by Flight Factor if you like flying Boeing aircraft. It's just really an incredible aircraft. And the 767-400ER, which is released by Flight Factor, the interior, the cockpit is very similar to the 777, and that aircraft was actually the transition from the 767 to the 777. So you'll see a very similar cockpit. But the 777 is so much better. In fact, it is by far the very best creation by Flight Factor to date. I don't think that they've created anything that is more high fidelity and more realistic and study level in the past. So this is, in my view, is their flagship product now, and we can only expect better things from this point forward, I hope. The 777 is worth the money, absolutely, Thomas. And thank you very much for your support, sir. Good Eats. Hi, sir. Love your videos. It's always helpful when I buy a new aircraft. I have one question. What would you say is best out of X-Plane 12? And I've always felt that XP feels more professional. Well, if you've gone through my interview recently with the X-Plane org, that is exactly what I say. X-Plane tends to attract a smaller but more serious audience, an audience that seeks a more realistic flight model, doesn't really worry too much about the scenery and how things look, but are more concerned with the with the realistic aspects of flying in the virtual skies. Whereas the MSFS audience, or MSFS, attracts more of a casual simmer, somebody who's more interested in flying over their house and saying, oh, that's my house, that's my girlfriend's house, and so on and so forth. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a different kind of preference. Now, Microsoft and Asobo, as two companies, if I look at what they have done with 2020 and 2024 and how they are actually pushing the market towards Xbox, that tells you that their strategy is really to cater for the masses, to cater for gamers rather than actually professional flyers or people who are very serious about flying. It is more of a game than a sim in my view, and I think Asobo and Microsoft are marketing it that way, and they're really pushing the Xbox version for the franchise of their flight sim. So it depends on what you want. That, of course, it doesn't mean that there aren't study-level aircraft in Microsoft Flight Sim. As a matter of fact, I enjoy flying in Microsoft Flight Sim, especially the Phoenix, the PMDG aircraft, the Phoenix, some of the Innobuilt aircraft, not all of them. Just Flight definitely develops great aircraft for Microsoft Flight Sim. So I think it remains to be a matter of preference. Both sims offer different things. It depends on what you're looking for. What do you think about the lack of collision in X-Plane? Every time I come back from this Vesta X-Plane, I miss it. Well, so you mean collision? There is definitely collision in X-Plane, but there isn't collision with the objects. Like if you're talking about the airport objects, there is no collision there. But there is collision with other aircraft. So I've disabled that in for Traffic Global, the add-on I'm using. I've disabled the collision with other aircraft because sometimes you're on the runway and an aircraft spawns on the runway while you're there and it causes damage. And then there's definitely crashing in X-Plane. So if you crash, one of the things I love about X-Plane that I cannot see in Microsoft Flight Sim is when you actually crash or when you hit the ground, or you'll actually see that the aircraft's engines are on fire, and you actually can see the fire. You can see the fire represented. You can see the engines on fire, and it looks very, very good. And that's something that you don't have in Microsoft Flight Sim. So, yeah. Okay, let's see here. Last question. Best business jet to buy. I already have the Phenom 300. Can you tell me I'm an Embraer guy? Well, the Embraer is definitely the Lineage 1000 that was recently released by Xcraft. It's an excellent business jet. And of course, the Citation 525 by Torxim is an amazing aircraft to have as well. Let's take a quick look here at the exterior. All right, so yesterday I stumbled upon a channel of a fairly new content creator who seems to be a real-world A320 pilot, and he's done a full review of the A350 by Innobuilt, and he gave a very fair assessment of the aircraft. And in his words, he said that the Innobuilt is the Innobuilt A350 is an okay aircraft. Unfortunately, Innobuilt have hyped up the release of this aircraft so much that they've set the expectations so high, only for us to actually be very disappointed that there are a lot of things missing in the aircraft. And for the price of the aircraft, he indicated that the plane isn't worth the price in its current state. let alone, of course, the crashes and the instability of the aircraft. Still up until this version, has a lot of WASM, stability issues. It's far better, but definitely there is a lot of issues still with the aircraft. So, in his opinion, that the Inbuilt A350 lacks a lot in terms of the simulation of systems, and that the price isn't worth it, and that therefore he does not recommend buying the aircraft. He said, of course, it's up to you whether you want to make that investment, but from the perspective of a real world pilot, that the aircraft isn't worth the asking price from Inbuilts. Now, do I agree, disagree? I have my own opinion about the Inbuilt aircraft. I do, however, agree with this real world pilot in his account that Inbuilt has hyped the aircraft so much that they've set the expectation so high from everyone, whether it's a real world pilot or us, aviation enthusiasts, and that has been a bit of a disappointment for a lot of people that have purchased the aircraft. So there we go. We are at 36 for 38,000. Hello, my friend. Do you use any plugin for cloud? No. What I use is Active Sky, which you can see here. There we go. That's Active Sky XP. I think this is by far the very best weather generation engine. Now, this does not change your clouds or the textures of the clouds. This only injects weather into X-Plane. And it is another program that I highly recommend if you want realistic weather in the sim, including wind shear, turbulence, and all that good stuff. Then I highly recommend X-Plane, Active Sky XP. Joshua says, I got the Inbuilt A350, definitely a jet, definitely a letdown in some areas, but with the recent update, I have to say they have gotten it to a stable place for me. It is a lot more stable now. The McKnight 787 is terrible textures and system sucks. I asked for a refund and got it. Samuel Stanton, if you had asked me, I would have told you. The McKnight 787 is an aircraft that has been in development for over 5 years. Yes. So, before I say anything, I want to really thank the developers for their commitment, their tenacity, and really keeping on that project. That said, the developer of the McKnight originally came to me when they started the development of the aircraft, and I was one of the people that was given early access to the aircraft, maybe one of the very first people that was given to, just like what happened with X-Craft when Marco decided to give me early access to get my feedback from a flight simulator perspective. Now, I gave them my honest feedback on the aircraft, and it looks like they weren't very happy with me. And if you've been watching the channel long enough, you'll know that I will spare no effort in giving very honest feedback, even to the developers. I'd rather be honest, and sometimes I know it's a bit of a letdown for developers who take a lot of pride in what they do, which and quite it's justifiable that they take pride in what they do. Obviously, they spend a lot of time on their work, but the fact of the matter is, when I gave them the feedback, they did not like the feedback, and they kind of ignored what I told them. And everything that I've told them, I told them from the perspective of a flight center. I understand this industry. I understand this market very well. I've been doing content creation for 10 years now. So I do understand what works. I know what doesn't work. I know if people are going to say, yes, this is worth the money or not. The McKnight, up until this very moment, has an issue that's been persistent over the sound pack that they're using. There's a lot of issues with CTDs, airports not being read properly, and you have to start, doing this copying of files from folders and pasting them into folders. I mean, look, if you want to put out a payware there, you have got to make sure that it works. It's okay to have issues, but you got to iron them out. But not having an issue over an iteration of updates and not fixing it is just not acceptable if it's something that people are going to pay for. And so while I really like the guys, I like their efforts in building the McKnight 787, though I don't feel that this aircraft is worth its price. That is my absolute honest opinion. So if you ask me, do you recommend the aircraft? No, I do not recommend it. Do not waste your money, invest your money elsewhere. It's not worth it. That's weird. I have contacted AXXP support several times and had no problems. I found default XP weather way better than AS. Really? Wow. McKnight is getting reworked really good, luckily. Well, I will be sure to take a look at it once that happens and report back to the community for sure. And if my opinion changes, I'll definitely announce it. Sometimes the truth is hard to accept. Yes, Dan, it is. In fact, the truth is always hard to accept. Yeah, positive feedback is great, but constructive criticism provides a path to a better product. Yes, thank you, Flybright. And this is exactly why I really love the guys over at Xcraft. I remember I've given a lot of feedback to Marco, and in all honesty, he did not complete all the, he did not heed all the recommendations that I've given to him. He told me some things were probably a little more difficult and will take more time. Some things he did not agree with, which is okay. I mean, they don't have to agree with everything I say, but it's good for Marco and for Xcraft. It was very important to get the perspective of somebody who he's been working with real world pilots on the aircraft. So he's gotten the perspective of real world pilots. So when they tested the aircraft, they tell him, yeah, the flight model is right spot on and this and that. But then what would a flight simmer like me feel about the aircraft? Does it really stack up to the other aircraft when I compare the price of an E-Jet from Xcraft to, for example, something maybe from Just Flight or from Toliss? And it was an iteration after iteration of feedback. And when I had the beta, I used to send like a huge list of a wish list, some things that I felt were not right. And one of the things, by the way, I noticed in Flight Sim, and one of the feedback received by Xcraft from my side was that there were a lot of buttons that didn't do anything. They were visually modeled, but they don't do anything. That is something that doesn't seem to sit very well with folks in this industry. So when you pay for an add-on, like let's say you pay anything above $45, $50, I'll expect all my buttons to work. I'll expect my circuit breakers to work. Even if I don't use them, I know that they're there, and I can simulate failures, for example, by turning off a couple of circuit breakers. And that's the kind of feedback that was given to Marco. He did not, heed all of the advice given to him, but he did a lot. So he did actually change a lot of things based on the feedback received. And that is why the Xcraft E-Jets were very successful, and they were very well received by the community. So yeah, it's a good approach. It's a good approach. What Boeing other than 777 do you recommend? I have the 777. Well, for now, I think the 777, the 757, again, by Flight Packer is excellent. Of course, you have the Zibo 737-8, which is just an amazing aircraft. So with that, I think with those aircraft, you really can't go wrong. Uh, 747-200, I have been looking at, but I like more modern plane. The 747 by Toliss is an amazing aircraft. You can't beat the Zibo as a Boeing. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Hey there, talking about buttons that are visible and that should work. Have you managed to use the tiller lock on the A320 and A340? It doesn't on mine. You mean this one here? It looks, yeah, it does work. Definitely does work. I hope I didn't mess it up, but yeah, it does work. All right, let's take a quick look here. Top of descent is at about 100 nautical miles. It looks like it's going to be marginal IFR at our destination. Let's take a quick look here. Oops, we lost the... There. Come on, we don't need you. All right, there we go. Navigraph charts. Amazing, amazing program for flight simulation. All right, let's take a look at flights. We're going to go to Durham International weather, and we can see that we have verbose weather there, overcast at 1,100. The temperature is 17. So we have variable winds at 3 knots, so not bad, but we do have overcast conditions, and the visibility is 9 miles. Yeah. All right, so we'll probably not be able to see the runway until just right before we land, so that's fine. About 1,000 feet overcast, yeah. We should be fine. Okay, we can actually start putting our information. So variable winds, we can put 0 at 3, QNH at 3006. Okay, let's bring up the perf here. Please go away. All right, let's put it here, perf. And we go to the next phase, and next phase. All right, QNH 3006.06. There we go. And the current temperature is 17. The winds, variable winds, so we'll put 0 and 3. 0 and 3. Excellent. And finally, we are going to go to flights. We'll select the arrival runway, which is 23 left. All right, let's see, 23 left. The ILS, runway 23 left. Excellent. We're almost there now, guys. And we are going to take a note of the decision height. All right. 371. Okay. We have the arrival information entered, and we can also go to CJ. Let's go to fixed information, and we're going to type in KRDU 23 left, and the radial to the runway is 234. So 234, and we'll add 10 nautical miles. We'll put the okay, sorry about that. 234 radial and 10 nautical miles radius. I was doing it Boeing style. So there we go, and now we can see the imaginary ring around the airport. Perfect. I need the button that allows you to look, to lock it, so you can do your flight control check while moving. I can press the button, but it doesn't change anything. Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. Same here. Okay. So we have the information there. If we go to our progress page, and again, we can put here KR. We should have done this in the beginning. KRDU 23 left, and we can put it here. Now it will give us the distance and bearing to our destination at KRDU runway 23 left, about 210 nautical miles in total, and we'll begin the descent shortly. Let's put this back on flight plan, and this is on cruise, 75 nautical miles for top of descent. Perfect. Can you tell me how to install Auto Ortho for X-Plane 11, X-Plane 12? Well, I highly recommend that you take a look at the tutorial by Drashal, because that is the best tutorial I have seen for the... all right, we're getting, again, the video is not receiving. So I'm getting this intermittent thing here saying YouTube isn't receiving enough, enough for smooth streaming. So is it jittering for you guys? If it is, let me know. And maybe this is something that I should probably not do moving forward. But if it is, we can always switch the resolution back to 1080p, unless you guys are good. That's fine. Why am I getting this stream health thing? Yeah, briefly, I just watched Drishal's tutorial today. I have used it, yeah, on and off time to time. Twice I had stutter. It's okay. I believe it's YouTube servers again. Well, I'm getting a poor connection here. That's what it's telling me. So yeah. So I don't know if we should just change it back to 1080p streaming. What do you guys think? I think now I'm seeing excellent connection again. So yeah, it's intermittent, I think. Definitely intermittent. All right. Let's take a look here. All right, here's the top of descent mark here, and the platform altitude is 2,200 feet. So let's do that, 2,200. Feet is set, and top of descent is in 50 nautical miles. We are good here. And we can take a quick look at the aircraft systems. All systems are normal, so we're good there. Let me bring it. Oh, the lights are already at maximum. Okay. Perfect. All is looking good. Been falling in love with the Leonardo. All right, folks. We are back in business. Well, let's stop from my side. Yeah. Yeah, that's because I stopped the broadcast and I brought it back again in 1080p. Sorry about that, guys. I think I do have a very good connection, by the way. I have 100 megabits per second upload and download. And I do get it here locally, so when I'm uploading something, I do get my 100 megabits per second. The only problem is the latency to the YouTube servers. I cannot maintain that, it seems like, because when I did the test to the YouTube server, sometimes I get like 28, sometimes I get 50, sometimes I get 70, but then sometimes it drops to like 15 and 10. Which is not sufficient for 2K streaming, which requires a steady 24 megabits per second. So I think if you purchase one of the Toliss A320 family, others should become cheaper. Yeah, that I don't know. Hello, Robert. Welcome aboard. Okay, so we are now looking at 33 nautical miles. All right, in preparation for landing, we're going to turn on the landing system on both sides. And we're good here. Right. That. Now, if we go to plan, that is your imaginary circle that we've created, which is the 10 nautical mile ring around the runway, runway 23. So it should be a straightforward arrival into our destination. Did we see? I thought we said. Let's see where the conditions are. So conditions are clear here. Okay. I'm not sure if I've actually. Let's see here. Yeah, it looks like I did not get the. I didn't download the SimBrief flight plan. So let's see if we can download it. We can. And yeah, so now we have it. Now that should get us the proper weather for the remainder of the flight. Okay. Hello there, Gulshan. Welcome aboard, my friend. Updated with the Skunkcraft updater. I think it's 2.7 now. Perfect combination. Hello, my friend. Welcome. Yeah, the SSG 747 is not bad, actually. It's not PMDG, but it's not bad. It's not a bad Boeing 747. Sound-wise, it's not very good. Yeah. I'm not sure if there is a sound pack for it, though. Yeah, I think, folks, just moving forward, I think we will remain in 1080p streaming. Unfortunately, I can't do the 2K. Just the latency just doesn't allow it. Hopefully, one day in the future, we'll have better latency to the YouTube servers. But for the time being, I think it's going to be just an overkill trying to do that with every stream. So, can recommend you the Mini FCU and Mini EFIS. Just repeat the EFIS. It works as a dream. Yes, I have tried the Mini FCU. I was one of the supporters of that project and received an early access to it from the guys at Mini FCU. It's a very good product. Although I feel that it can be a little bit more durable, so the material that it's made from is just a little bit lower quality than I would have liked, but other than that, it works really well. It works great, and it's very, very immersive. You do need to have a special desktop setup to have that unit sit where you can actually use it properly. But overall, it's very good. Hello there, Kikai45. Welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here with us this evening. And thank you very much for your support. Okay. All is looking good here. ILS 23 left is the descent in about 4 nautical miles now. So we are going to begin the descent shortly towards our destination. Yeah, now we see no issues with the connectivity. So yeah, I just was feeling a little bit inspired today and wanted to do 2K streaming. Unfortunately, that hasn't really worked the way it should have, but we're good here. All right, 2 nautical miles, almost there, and we've been flying now for 45 minutes. All right, top of descent, and there we go. Nav descent started. Very nice wing views there with the Toliss A320. I wonder why the guy over at Toliss never really paid that much attention to the visuals or the sounds, for that matter. And And I think if they team up, I think in today's world, in flight sim, I think we as flight simmers do not mind paying a premium price for a high quality add-on. And this has been evident in the last couple of years where we've seen some very expensive add-ons coming to the market and people actually investing in those add-ons. Sometimes to much their disappointment, of course, but I think we as flight simmers, we don't really mind paying a premium price for something that is a premium value. And sometimes I wonder, why wouldn't Toliss team up with, for example, the KOSP guys or Mango Studio for that matter, to create a sound pack for their aircraft. And maybe I know there are a lot of excellent livery developers, so they are very talented graphic designers that they can team up with to create a much better looking cockpit textures. So I really don't know. Good question for the Q8 Pilot Discord channel. Yeah, I agree there, Stan. Well, on the pricing thing, let me say just a quick thing. If you buy one Toliss, the other one should be cheaper. Look, in a way, I can understand that Toliss can have a loyalty program, that if you purchase one of their aircraft, you can get like $5 off your next Toliss purchase. The fact of the matter is, when you develop aircraft for flight simulation, the guys over at Toliss invest enormous amount of time to research and get real-world performance data. So the fact of the matter is, when they develop, for example, the A320, the A340, it's not just about the 3D model. It's actually about the actual performance of the engines, and that in itself is a very, very difficult and a very laborious task for the developers to do, and it takes them years to develop one aircraft. Now, to their favor is that every Toliss aircraft, while they are all Airbuses, they are very unique in the way that they fly and the performance data, the engines, temperatures, the hydraulic system, the electrical load, all of that is properly simulated. And so they invest just the same amount of work that they've done for the A320 on their A319. Yeah, some things may be similar, but there's a lot of coding that goes in the background. And so I think it is fair that they ask for a full price for a different variant of the aircraft. Now, if there was an upgrade, the upgrades, by the way, for Toliss has been free for the duration of, I think they charged a small fee for the upgrade to X-Plane 12, but ever since, it's been free. So you've been getting all these updates for free. And Toliss is a very active company. They take their products very seriously. They continuously update all their products. They have not abandoned or neglected any of their products. So there is a premium that I think we should accept to pay for a company that delivers quality, for a company that continuously updates their products, and for being just really a customer-centric company. I think all of that, has value, and that's what you pay for when you purchase a Toliss aircraft. Even really good default scenery sometimes takes 3 to 4 weeks full-time. Yeah, absolutely. What are you saying about the Leonardo MD-80 Q8 Airstream? Cut out just as you mentioned it. Well, Joshua, I was saying that the Leonardo MD-80-2 is an excellent aircraft, and it is another aircraft that I feel, in my opinion, is an underrated aircraft. You don't see a lot of streamers streaming it. You don't see a lot of people flying it. Maybe because it requires a little bit of a learning curve. It flies different, and there isn't really a lot of information about it. So people just content creators really don't know much about the aircraft, and there isn't much for them to to go in and study. So It is definitely underrated. It's definitely very, very good. In fact, one of the aircraft that at least flies like a heavy aircraft in the sim, and is different. The flight model of that aircraft is different than the others. By the way, I've noticed in SU1 that the flight model has changed a little bit, and it's more believable now with big airliners. So, yeah, I thought that was worthwhile mentioning. Why can I see through my aircraft and it's transparent? Ooh, wow, that I don't know. If you get one as your first aircraft, would it be the FF777 or the Toliss A320? Well, Mohammed, that's a very easy question for me to answer because I'm a Boeing guy, so if it ain't Boeing, I ain't going. So, so the answer is the 777, for sure. All right, 24,000 for 2,200. We are looking good. Skies are so far clear. It looks like we are going to get overcast condition. Ooh, just when I said the skies were clear, we get all these clouds all of a sudden. Oh, that looks nice. Yeah. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, the Fearless 747 is an excellent aircraft without a doubt. How about that, guys? Look at those beautiful clouds and the color of the sky is just so amazing. All right. Let me set this here on 80. Yeah, we are looking good. And perf, I just want to get our 3006. Okay. I know that the default scenery is good, but I would like to see kind of videos from you about the best scenery for X-Plane 12. All right, perfect combination. That's a reasonable ask, and I think I haven't really done a lot in terms of you know, best add-ons, best plugins, best aircraft, best scenery in a very long time, and that is mainly because of the time that it requires and the lack of it on my part. I have a new job, and it is a very demanding job, so I normally am from work from 7 a.m. until 5 p.m. and that is just very long for a 50-year-old like me. so yeah, it really takes a toll on you. And then by the time, you know, you go through the traffic to get home, that's another, you know, half an hour. So I get home by 5:30, and by that time, I'm just totally exhausted. Well, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. Hello, QA. Can you please show your lossless scaling program settings in order to make a screenshot? We have the same PC specs, and after latest update, something got... All right, well, that's not a big deal. Let me do that for you real quick. Here we go. So I have the scaling mode auto, aspect ratio, scaling type off, frame generation LSFG3, mode X2, and what else? What else do you want to see? Let me just scroll down here real quick. I have the clip cursor on, adjust cursor speed, hide cursor off, scale cursor on, rendering sync mode default, maximum frame latency 1, no HDR or Jinx sync support, draw FPS is on, and you can see it here on the corner, capture API WGC, and buffering is off, preferred GPU is auto, output display is auto, and the rest are here all off. And those are my lossless scaling settings. Yeah, the guys, everyone I think in SimBrief is free of charge. You don't need Navigraph to get SimBrief. SimBrief will always remain as a free product, but it is part of Navigraph. Navigraph acquired SimBrief. So, hey, aviation with Elliot, welcome aboard. SimBrief is free, yes. All right, those clouds are looking nice, and we are almost there now. All right, 3006 QNH. All right, 3006 is set, and we are all ready for our arrival into. That works, huh? Pretty cool. One thing is I noticed on the oxygen, you can't actually test it. If you click it, it will put the mask on and you'll see it moving. So yeah, you can't test the oxygen, which I'd like to probably see. And the circuit breakers aren't modeled. Some of them are, yeah. So those are modeled here. Let me show you. So not all of them are modeled. So if you look up here, some, yeah, those are, for example, NTIs are modeled. These are not modeled. And yeah, some are modeled, some are not. I mean, they're all modeled visually, but I mean, they're not functional. So some are functional, some are not, which is cool. Probably the ones that matter the most are simulated. Right, 15,000. We're looking good. Definitely, I second the recommendation there by Stan. Orbex's Great Britain series is, wow, just jaw-dropping. Very, very good. Do you fly in real life? I have flown in real life many, many times. Yes. And by the way, guys, flying in real life is extremely different than flying in a sim. Feeling the pressure of the air on the airfoil and how much back pressure you put on the stick or the yoke, the throttle, the engines, all of those things are extremely important to flying an aircraft. Those things, the factors, the air forces, is something that we do not feel in sitting on our, on your chair in your office. You don't feel those things. For example, I remember when I chartered a Piper 28 in Elstree Airdrome in the United Kingdom. I remember that, I was actually using the toe brakes to turn the aircraft on the ground, and I tell you, it's not easy, and those toe brakes are quite hard to push as well. We did the takeoff roll, so I actually took off. I had controls for the takeoff and for the landing, and it was very, very different from doing it in the sim. Now, the sim, when you visually see, when you fly in the real world and then you come to the flight sim and you are visually seeing on the screen what's happening, you can somehow relate it to what you've seen in real life. So there is a lot of similarity, without a doubt, between what you see in real life versus what you see in the sim. But does it feel the same? Absolutely not. It feels nothing like the real thing. I think flight simulation, at least the home flight simulation, is very suitable for learning procedures, checklists, understanding, what to do in certain situations. That works very, very well. But for the actual flying, I don't think that the home simulators, unless you have, of course, a setup that has force feedback and things like that, then yes, then that will probably aid you more realistically to operate an aircraft in real life, but the feeling is just very, very different. Even the stall, when we did a stall, I remember with back in Texas, I went with Humphreys Aviation, 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and turn on. And if you're ever in the area, I highly recommend Humphreys Aviation. There we go. And there we go. All right, we are almost there now, 10,000 feet. And here's a look at the outside as well. How about that, guys? That is a beautiful sight here of the... And that's X-Plane 12 for you. So, if you're ever in Texas, I highly recommend the Humphreys Aviation. The guy is an instructor and he knows the stuff very well. So, when we took off, we did, of course, the 45-degree angle bank, and we did stalls, and we did all sorts of things. And just the feeling is extremely different from, when you're sitting on your, the comfort of your chair, for desktop pilots. It's very, very different. I agree, takeoff from my native field, and I can recognize aim points I have trained on for years and accurately depict focal points of the flight. Yes. Visually, you can definitely relate a lot of things, but physically, it becomes a challenge to simulate everything in a flight sim. Now, by the way, I had the pleasure of being in a real-world Airbus simulator through a very good friend of mine who gave me access to an airline simulator. This is like a $12 million simulator. And I tell you guys, it is wow. It feels like you're in the real plane. Not just the scene. The scenery, of course, is next gen. I mean, the scenery is amazing. The Airbus was an Airbus A320neo simulator. And everything is depicted there. So a flight simulator, a professional flight simulator, yeah, it feels just like the real thing. And for a minute, while we were in the cockpit with the door closed, I felt like I was in a real A320 cockpit. The scenery feels so realistic. Everything, the runway, the weather, the rain, it's just wow. And he told me we're gonna land, and when you land, you actually feel the wheels, you feel the shake, you feel the pressure on the yoke, you feel everything. Pressure on the stick, that is. So while we were in the simulator, my friend requested the guy sitting outside the sim to simulate heavy turbulence. And he said, actually, this is one of the things that they do for us real pilots, is sometimes just because they know that pilots can get bored and they can feel sleepy, so they actually put them through these scenarios while he's in the sim doing his practice. So one of the things is they put them through heavy turbulence, and when he put the heavy turbulence for a moment or so, I felt like, it got me scared. I actually felt scared because the whole thing was shaking. The aircraft felt very unstable. So for a minute, I felt, we actually weren't in a simulator. It felt like the real thing. So, yeah, those simulators are great. Speed check on the keyboard. Yeah, that's right. How are you doing there, my friend? Welcome. It's been very long, yes. I'd say the same thing to you, my friend. Welcome back, and glad to have you back on the channel. Total immersion. Same thing happened when I was at the Southwest Airlines 737 simulators. Stan, you are also a lucky man if you've been in one of those. I actually wanted a Boeing so bad because I love Boeing, but yeah, I wouldn't say to an Airbus simulator as well. All right, let's go here. 20s looks like there's a restriction here at 6,000, but we are getting close to our destination now. We can see the 10 nautical mile ring here. We're almost there now, and things are looking good. Those clouds are looking really, really nice. Let's switch here to the outside. Check out this view, guys. Wow. That is pretty cool. What program are they running for those simulators? Gee, I don't know. It's something from the airline. I'm sure it's a special program that they're given by Airbus. So I really don't know, but it's just amazing. Where is P3D? Did you turn off P3D? Did you turn off it? P3D is dead. Simply put. So, time for a trip to Seattle. Take me with you, Stan. No, I'm not a real world pilot. No. Is it a commercial proprietary sim? You mean for the airlines? I think it is. I think it belongs to Airbus. I think the simulators are bought from Airbus, but there are companies that actually build the simulators. The software is probably given by Airbus. All right, let's see here. We're gonna go to 10. We are at the green dot, so we're gonna select flaps 1. We are gonna arm the speed brakes and auto brake to medium. And we'll go to approach. There we go. Looks like there's another restriction here. The localizer captured. Glide slope active. Approach phase activated. All right, we're looking good. Almost there now, folks. Seattle's under construction always. Hate going there anymore. Really? Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, P3D. What reminded you of P3D? Wow. I hope they won't die soon. With only Toliss and flight factors still rigging out good planes. No. Just Flight is bringing their aircraft. There is Kalimata. There is a lot. V-Flight Air. There's a lot of developers still developing for X-Plane. Yeah, some of the big names have abandoned X-Plane. That's okay, but still it has a very active and very strong community, which is definitely X-Plane is not dying and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. That's for sure. All right. We are at the 10 nautical mile ring. We can go, you know what? We'll go to flaps 2. Why not? Flaps 2. Right, now we do understand we're going to have an overcast condition up to 1,100 feet. So we are probably not going to have any visual with the runway. The visibility is 9 nautical miles. So it's less than ideal, but hopefully as soon as we drop below 1,000 feet, we'll be able to see the runway. But let's see what happens here. All right, I'm going to use the speed brake here to help us reduce our speed. There we go. And the visibility is just really dreadful. Alright. There we go. And at this point we can lower the landing gear. Landing gear coming down. good. Speed check and flaps 3. Right, speed check and flaps full. Right, let's notify cabin crew. And we are cleared. Cabin is ready.
2,000.
Right, and we should be able to start seeing the runway at 1,000 feet. So this is accurate to what we've seen on active sky. Right, alerts are off. Yeah, now we can see the runway. Very good. Check out the contrails. Lovely.
1,000.
1,000 feet. Autopilot off. My aircraft.
Above. 400. Minimum. 300. 200. 100, 50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10, retard, 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Durham International Airport. Reverse screen, 80 knots.
Auto brake off.
And we've made it safely, huh? All right. Okay, let's take a quick look at our landing here, and then we'll taxi to the gate. How about that?
20, retard, retard.
Thank you, guys. Glad you enjoyed that. We'll do a few replays there for you. A little bit firm. You have got to love X-Plane, guys. I know I say that every time, but it is just a truly, truly amazing sim. All right, let's do that one more time. check out that wing flex. Let's do now the final replay. My favorite view. All right, and disarm the speed brakes. Let's retract the flaps. Let's start the APU. Runway turn off lights off. Landing lights off. No. Taxi, stroke, auto. And let's start the APU. I think this time of day allows for better lighting inside the cockpit, and you can really see the details of the texture work there on the aircraft. Yeah, it's pretty good. Thank you very much, Alex. Thank you, thank you, guys. I'm glad you enjoyed that landing. And I think we can bring the aircraft to a stop here on one of those empty gates. And let's stop the clock. 1 hour, 15 minutes exactly from gate to gate. Well, from runway to gate. Right, there we go. All right, and parking brake is set. APU bleed coming on. Let's turn off the taxi light, and we can now kill the engines. Alright, let's wait for... There we go. Alright, we can turn off the beacon lights. And... Alright, there we go. Now, the jetways are not working for the Toliss A320 for some reason. So, there's nothing we can do about that. Turn that off. And we are good, ladies and gents. There you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream as much as I enjoyed streaming it for you. It's been definitely fun flying the Toliss A320 in the most updated version. And of course, it is an aircraft that I highly recommend. In fact, I recommend the entire fleet from Toliss. It depends on whether you have an affinity for a specific variant, but if you like to fly long haul, for example, you can get the A321. There is also the A319, the A320neo, which we flew today, the A330, and the A340, all available to you from Toliss. I am going to be scheduling another stream to fly the updated Toliss A330 based on popular demand. I think a lot of people have been asking me about this, so I am going to plan this during the next few weeks, and hopefully before long, we'll be able to stream it here on the channel. Again, guys, I want to thank you very much for being with me this evening. It's been a lot of fun. I do apologize for the glitches over our connectivity today, but moving forward, I think we are going to be using 1080p streaming moving forward so that we don't encounter these issues again. Again, a big thanks to all the moderators as well for your help moderating the chat here today. Thank you guys for the interaction. It really is what makes the stream. It really is what makes it fun, and it makes it enjoyable. So thank you guys for hanging out with me this evening. Until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Good evening.